This is Rosa Parra, and today I'm here to talk about my favorite movies of 2025 so far. We are already past halfway through the year already. We're in July, and yeah, so far it's been a mixed bag of movies that have released in 2025. And yeah, so here are so far my top 10. I'm gonna make it brief, not gonna get into a lot of the details because I noticed that a good chunk of them have already written reviews for the Slant. So please feel free to head on over to the site and read the reviews if you want a little more elaboration on the movies and why they made my list. But yes, again, I've not seen every movie that's been released. This is my top 10, my personal favorites of the year so far. And here we go. So, my number 10, we are going to start with Pixar's latest release, which is Elio, a movie I did review for the Slant. So if you want more details as to why it made my list, please feel free to head on over to the site and check it out. But yeah, this was a very sweet, heartfelt movie about a boy who's just trying to find his purpose and place in the universe. It's very gorgeously animated, like Pixar tends to do, and good voice work as well. And I thought that this movie was very much Pixar's. It delivered once again. Pixar has a pretty good track record of delivering hit after hit after hit, and I think Elio is one of them. It's another movie that I thoroughly enjoyed. So yeah, if you want more details as to why I enjoy this movie so much, again, go to latinoslet.com, search Elio, and you will most certainly find my review there. Okay, my number 9 is La Pecera, which is a Puerto Rican film, or in English, it's called The Fishbowl. Um, this movie actually came out, I saw it at Sundance, but I saw it back in 2023. And this is a Puerto Rican film about a woman who comes to terms with her terminal prognosis. And it's environmentally caused by what I think it was several years prior to her health issues. I believe it was the U.S. military had dumped a lot of toxins and chemicals into a nearby, I believe it was an island, and eventually the contaminated the local waters, the ocean, and so on and so forth. And eventually it got to the island where Noelia lives, and who is brilliantly and just stunningly performed by Isel Rodriguez. This movie was just, oh man, it's so memorable, so impactful, and it's very thought provoking. Not only to Noelia's prognosis and how she eventually comes to terms with it and just embraces it and decides to become an advocate to bring more consciousness and awareness to what's going on locally in her community. And it's something, man. It's a very thought provoking movie. So I believe at the moment it's on video on demand. Pero yeah, I reviewed this film for another site. I did it for In Their Own League. But again, it came out in 2020. I saw it in 2023 at Sundance, but it just recently released, I believe, a few months ago this year. Alrighty, so that's my number 9. My number 8, it's The Last Rodeo. This is Angel Studios' latest release, and this movie I also reviewed for The Slant. So if you want more details, go ahead and check it out over there, latinoslant.com. Yeah, it follows a retired bull rider who decides to come out of retirement in order for him to raise money for his grandson's medical treatment. So this was a very well done movie. It moved me a lot. You know, at the center of the movie is family, right? And everything you're willing to do and put yourself through for family. But also, it shines a light on the broken healthcare system and that we have here in the U.S. How just having just falling ill and can literally break you, bankrupt you, and be a financial hardship. So, yeah, Last Rodeo, great film. Thoroughly enjoyed it. Again, I reviewed it for the Slant, so please head on over to rate my full review over there. All right, that's my number 8. My number 7. My number 7 is a documentary that I also reviewed for the Slant. And it's Cheech and Chong's last movie. This documentary was, I didn't even know what to expect, to be honest. I have seen some of their films from back in the day, but this one was it was very, for me at least, someone from my generation, which I believe I'm a millennial. I don't even know, to be honest. I didn't grow up at the peak of their careers. It was more of a, I was just seeing what they were doing. I think I was able to watch some of Cheech's work, and I believe that was after they had split up. The duo had split up. And so I was not, I didn't live through their peak times. And this documentary does an excellent job chronicles showcasing and chronicling the journey of the comedy duo, their respective upcomings, how they met, how they split up, and more, and where they're at right now at this moment. It's quite fascinating to read and to hear from their experience, how they had to navigate the pretty much Hollywood at that time. It wasn't easy, especially for them. So again, I wrote a review for the film. Go check it out. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe the movie is also right now on VOD. So if you want to check it out, feel free to do so. And so that's my number 7. My number 6 is another film I did review for the Slant. I saw it earlier this year. I was able to rewatch it just to make sure I had my thoughts straightened out. And it is How to Train Your Dragon. This movie is, in my humble opinion, one of the best live action remakes of recent memory. Perfectly cast, visually stunning, and I had a good time with it. Again, you want to find out more, go check out the reviews over at the Slant. So that's my number 6. My number 5 is Thunderbolts, or what a lot of people now know it. It's come to be known as the New Avengers. So Thunderbolts, I had a good time with this movie as well. I thoroughly had a very interesting reaction to the dark themes. It's dark thematically and tonally. And that was something I was not expecting to see from a superhero movie. I I had a good time with it. I cannot lie. If I'm being honest, I think Florence Pugh at the moment is one of the best actors, period. Actors, including actresses and actors, out there right now. She can do no wrong in my eyes. Everything she's done, from every piece of work she's done, she's just hits it out of the park, man. She's incredibly talented, and here as the leader of the team and just being the anchor of the this franchise, man, I can't think of a better way to do it. And she's just incredible in this film. And again, repeating myself, I'm going to sound very repetitive. But Thunderbolts, I did review for the Slant. So check it out over there at the latinoslant.com. All right, my number 4. Obviously, my number 4 is a movie I just recently caught. I'm late. Was late to the party when it came to this release, and it's Sinners. Sinners. I mean, I think everything has been said about this movie, and I could not agree more. A lot of people label it as a masterpiece. I don't know if I would call it a masterpiece yet, but I do believe that Ryan Coogler definitely made a memorable and culturally important, impactful piece of cinema. That so many memorable sequences in that film that just stick with you. And it's not memorable in a shocking value. It's more memorable with its tactfully, it's delivered and executed and acted and shot, and it's done with such care, with such it's meticulously calculated, and it's just beautifully and stunningly done, and it's just it's so good. there's no denying that this movie is great, because it is there's no argument there. So yeah, that's my number 4. That one I didn't get a chance to review for the Slant, because again, I was late to the party. So I didn't review for it. I didn't review it. So yeah, those are my initial thoughts on that film. And my number 3, I did a little mini review for the Slant, and it was back from Sundance 2024, which was last year. And this is Freaky Tales, starring the one and only, well, I don't think he stars in it, but he's a very important character in the film. But yeah, Tio Pedro Pascal is in this film, and you know what? I had a good time with this film. It is cut in 4 compartments, 4 sections of in the movie, and it's fun. It's action packed, hilarious. It is very much an homage to the Bay Area. And it blends genres. It has like B-level action sequences and feel to it, but it also has an 80s feel to it. And I thoroughly had a good time with it. Again, you can go to the Slant if you want to read a little bit more details on it. And yeah, that's my number 3, Freaky Tales. My number 2. Here comes the good parts. My number 2 is the Ballad of Wallis Island. This is a indie movie that I saw earlier this year at the Sundance Film Festival. It was one of my favorite movies. I believe I checked, and for the Slant, I wrote just a little paragraph on my favorite movies from Sundance. This movie specifically, it came in at number 5. And frankly, I'm on my number 5 of my favorite movies from Sundance. Anything below that, and 4, 3, 2, 1, I don't think none of those has released yet. Outside of Sorry Baby, which is a movie that I actually enjoyed a lot, but it didn't release until July. The movies I'm talking about were released from January 1st to the end of June. Anything released in July did not make my cut. So you're not going to see Superman here. You're not going to see anything released in July. All right. I should have clarified that at the beginning of the recording. Ugh. There you go. All right. So yeah, the Ballad of Wallis Island, it's just a very feel good indie movie. It's currently streaming on Peacock if you want to check it out. And it's just about a wealthy guy who lives in an island, and all he wants to do, he dreams of reuniting his favorite musical duo. It's funny, it's very lighthearted, and I don't know, it's one of those films that it leaves you feeling like somebody just came and gave you just a warm hug. And it leaves you feeling nice and with a little beautiful fuzzy feeling in your stomach. That's all I can describe it. I had a chance to rewatch it when it was streaming. And again, it's just a really feel good movie. So if you want to check it out, The Ballad of Wallis Island, streaming now on Peacock. It's my number 2 favorite film of 2025, halfway through the year. And my number 1. This movie, for me, it came out of left field. I don't necessarily consider myself a fan of horror movies. I don't necessarily go out there running to watch every single horror newly released movie. But this one I did because there was some buzz around it. And when I sat down, was not sure what to expect. But when those credits started to roll, I was shook. I was taken to a completely different plane dimension, and I was just left thinking about the purpose and meaning of life, to be honest. And my number one, as of now, as I sit here recording this, my favorite movie of 2025 is 28 Years Later. A movie I also wrote a written review for the Latino Slant. You can go check it out, thelatinoslant.com. 28 Years Later is a movie I've not stopped thinking about. Every single day I think about that film. So many sequences, so many moments, and the scope of it, and the acting, the performances, the execution, the camera shots. There's so many sequences that have a very chaotic and kinetic camera angles. But they make sense because it just adds to the suspense and the chaos of what these characters are living through. It's a coming of age zombie movie that is anchored by perhaps one of the most impressive acting debuts in recent memories. And again, it's just an unforgettable exploration of life and the meaning of it. And just thinking about it, it just gets me emotional, and it gets me just leaves me thinking a lot. It's one of those films that it stayed with me. And it's still being impactful after several weeks of having seen it just once. So there you have it, y'all. My top 10 movies of 2025 so far. My number 10, Elio. Number 9, The Fishbowl or La Pecera. Number 8, The Last Rodeo. 7, Cheech and Chong's last movie. My number 6, How to Train Your Dragon. My number 5, Thunderbolts. 4, Sinners. My number 3 is Freaky Tales. My number 2, The Ballad of Wallis Island. And my number 1 and favorite film of 2025, halfway through the year, is 28 Years Later. So there you go, y'all. My top 10 of 2025. I would love to hear your thoughts on it. Have you seen these movies? If you have, please feel free to comment. And I'd love to read your guys' top 10 movies so far halfway through this year. And if there's any movies you'd like to recommend for me to check out, please do so. I'm always down to checking out movies. And yeah, expand that brain of mine every now and then. Again, thank you guys for listening to this video and for reading my reviews, for all your support, the nice comments and everything. I thoroughly appreciate. I truly, truly, truly appreciate it. Thank you guys. I will talk to y'all guys later. Bye.